Well, hello and welcome. Today is November the 6th, 2024. Yesterday was election day, and as most of you probably already know, the election results are in. For the president, Donald John Trump has been elected to be the president-elect. And so we know that, but now we want to take our attention and look a little closer to our own state of North Carolina and also to our own county, Alamance County. But first, let's look at the larger state picture here, and we're going to begin here, and we can see this is the unofficial general election results statewide. As you can see, Josh Stein defeated Mark Robinson. Josh Stein is now going to be the next governor for the state of North Carolina. You can see that North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Hal Weatherman lost to Rachel Hunt. I thought for sure Hal Weatherman would be the next lieutenant governor for the state of North Carolina, but he was defeated by Rachel Hunt. North Carolina Attorney General Dan Bishop was likewise defeated. I thought for sure he would win the Attorney General. I believe for most everybody, there was a lag on the state ticket. Some news came out about the Republican candidate for governor, and I think that it probably hurt. I don't think probably it hurt him and the down ballot, and we'll see if that's true. You don't know if it's true yet. I think he's suing CNN, but irregardless, Dan Bishop lost to Mark Jackson. You see Dave Bolick, he beat Jessica Holmes for the North Carolina auditor. Steve Troxler once again won. He's been in there for a while. Mike Causey likewise for the North Carolina Commissioner of Insurance. He also won. The Commissioner of Labor, Luke Farley, defeated Braxton Winston II. North Carolina Secretary of State Elaine Marshall won again. I thought for sure she might lose this time. The race was pretty tight, but she defeated Chad Brown for North Carolina Secretary of State. North Carolina Superintendent of Public Instruction Maurice Green, or Mo Green, defeated Michelle Morrow for the North Carolina Superintendent of Public Instruction. That was another shocker, but I believe, again, it looks like that it was a down ballot issue, at least on the state level in North Carolina. And for the North Carolina Treasurer, Brad Briner did beat Wesley Harris for the treasurer's seat. And so with that being said, let's now move to our own county. Let's move to the county of Alamance, and we will look at all contests, and let's just display the results here. And here we have Donald John Trump. Which those results are not correct, but here we have the names on the local elections, and I've got to scroll down here until I get to where I can find them. And it looks like I'm not sure exactly why these counts are so low. They appear to be low, but I'm going to work towards the local election. And here we're going to look at, let's go here and we'll look at the North Carolina Senate District 25. This was one that we in Alamance County voted on. Amy Scott Gailey defeated Donna Van Hook by, it looks like, about maybe 8,000 votes. So Amy Scott Gailey is retaining her seat, and congratulations to her. Steve Ross, likewise, for his North Carolina House of Representative District 63, he defeated Robin Windringham, I believe is the way you say it. Yeah, Windringham. He defeated her 23,000 to 19,000. So Steve Ross, congratulations. He retains his seat. Dennis Riddell, who is the North Carolina House of Representative District for 64, District 64, he defeated Levon Barnes by 24,000 to 19,990 votes. So it looks like North Carolina, it looks like our area retained the Republican candidates for the state Senate and the North Carolina House. Larry Brown for North Carolina District Court Judge, of course, he ran unopposed, so he won. Here's one that is going to affect our county commissioners group. Craig Turner defeated Doug Green, 46,000 to 40,000, 53% to 46% for the North Carolina District Court Judge District Seat 17, Seat 03. So Craig Turner is now going to be appointed as a judge, or elected as a judge. And congratulations on that, Craig Turner, or Judge Turner, as we shall say. The North Carolina District Court Judge 17, seat oh 04. I believe this is Katie Overby. She ran unopposed, and she remains on the ballot. I mean, she remains in her position as well. The North Carolina District Court Judge District 17, seat oh 05 was one that Meredith Edwards was running for, and she defeated Natalie Jones for that position. So congratulations. She will likewise become Judge Edwards, and we congratulate her on that. Brian Ray also defeated R. Brian Norris Jr. for the seat. He got 53% of the vote to 46% approximately. And so congratulations on your seat, Judge Ray. Now we come to the Alamance County Commissioner's race, which three people were going to be elected out of, I don't know if it's six, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. So 6 people were running, and the top 3 vote getters would be the ones who would continue and would be seated on the county commissioners. So we have Pamela Tyler Thompson. She got the most votes. She was the highest vote getter, followed by John Paisley Jr., who was the second highest vote getter, and then Ed Priola, who was the third highest vote getter. So those 3, Pamela Tyler Thompson, John Paisley Jr., and Ed Priola, will likewise assume the role of county commissioner. John and Pam were already on the commissioners position, so they retain their seat. Ed Priola will be taking the seat being vacated by Bill Lashley. Carissa Graves, Anthony Pierce, and Chris Smith, they got a lot of votes as well. It looks like it was a close race, but those 3 will be the ones who will be seated on the Alamance County Board of Commissioners. Register of Deeds, David Barber ran unopposed. He likewise will retain his seat, of course. But then we come to the Alamance Burlington Board of Education. Sandy Ellington Graves, Avery Wagner, and Seneca Rogers, and Tamika Harvey, the top 4 vote getters. You could vote for 4, and those were the top 4 vote getters. Sandy Ellington Graves, it looks like she retained her seat on the board, and also it looks like she's the highest vote getter for that position. It's interesting that when we received your Republican voting card, her name was not there. They only listed 3 names on there. They listed Corey Shepard, Peter Morcom, and Avery Wagner. So they listed, I think, those 3, and Avery did get enough votes, but it looks like those 3, the top 3, are Sandy Ellington Graves, Avery Wagner, Seneca Rogers, Tamika Harvey, the top 4. Corey Shepard got a lot of votes. Peter Morcom got a lot of votes. Donna Davis Westbrook, she's on the school board as well, and she did not get reelected to the board. I really thought that she would be reelected. I'm not sure exactly what happened. If I'd like to hear from anyone who listens to this video. If you live in Alamance County, why did you choose not to vote for Donna? I'm not sure exactly why. Why you wouldn't, or why you would. I'd like to just hear. It looks like, she finished, she's being removed from that position. So just interested in hearing what could she have done better. And Tara Raggett, she got 14. I think that's the way you say her name. If I'm mispronouncing it, I apologize. But she got 14,335 votes. So those will be the 4 people that assumed the position it looks like you have 2 returning and 2 new. Seneca Rogers was already on the board. Sandy, of course, is the chair. Avery Wagner and Tamika Harvey will be, I think, taking Ryan Bowden's seat, and I think the next one will take Donna Westbrook's seat, at least not her co-chair, but will take the position on the school board. Now we come to these areas down here. Now this is what I want to focus on too here. On the North Carolina ballot, every ballot in the state of North Carolina, there was a constitutional amendment that said citizens only voting. Now, what I want to do here for a second is I'll come back to this. Let me share this with you here. This says North Carolina voters approve citizens only voting constitutional amendment. In fact, I should have went here. Yeah, let me do this one first. Let's look at this one first here. This is from North Carolina Newsline, and this is when we were preparing to go to the ballot. It says North Carolina voters weigh amendment to explicitly bar non-citizens from voting. Backers say state courts and lawmakers could enfranchise non-citizens in state and local races. Opponents argue the proposal only seeks to deter eligible voters and raise xenophobic fears. Now, with that being said, I mean, if it says non-citizen, if you've got to be a citizen, you've got to be a citizen. And I agree. I don't think local municipalities within the state should have that right. I think that's a state constitutional. You have to abide by the state constitution. That's the way I interpret it, and by the citizenship clause. And so now the state of North Carolina has actually put an amendment on there to maybe shore it up, make it even stronger from what I've been told. So, and let's read this first little article here. It says, North Carolina heading to the polls this year may be surprised to find a ballot measure proposing an amendment to the state constitution requiring all eligible voters to be U.S. citizens and at least 18 years of age, restrictions already enforced by state and federal law. So why are North Carolina voters being asked to weigh in on the issue? It says the referendum is the product of House Bill 1074, a bill passed by the General Assembly in June to change the definition of eligible voters from every person born in the United States and every person who has been naturalized who is 18 to only U.S. citizens meeting age and eligibility requirements. Now, you can read about these professors and these experts. I think I think that's the right thing to do. I like the amendment, and I actually voted for it. I only want citizens voting in our elections. I don't want my vote disenfranchised by someone who is not a citizen. I don't want that to happen. I think obviously we'll see in just a moment that there's a lot of people in the county who didn't want that either. And so with that being said, in fact, we probably need to look. I need to see if I can find what the total vote on that was. I believe it was like 75%. I'll see if I can find it. But you there are some states that do allow people to vote in local races. I don't like that idea simply because they've got every right to do it. I mean, the state has a right to do it. But I don't like that idea because then you're confusing the electorate. You're confusing the votership. In fact, I was just read an article from the Ohio Secretary of State who said he had just referred, so many illegals for to be evaluated, uh, not prosecuted. I'm not sure the word he used there, but to be looked into for potential uh, criminal charges to be brought against them, and it wasn't just a few. And so what I'm saying is, if we think I don't want anybody, I don't want any illegal voting in any election. I'm saying if it would even favor me, I wouldn't want it. If it would vote what I wanted, I wouldn't want that to happen. I want only citizens to vote. And so what I'm saying is I don't want my vote disenfranchised. I don't want to be disenfranchised because someone who is not a citizen of the United States cancels out my vote. And so that's the way I see it. And that looks like, we'll show you in just a moment, what North Carolina believes as well. But let me show you this. North Carolina voters approve citizens only voting constitutional amendment. And here it says that millions of North Carolina voters have opted to amend the state constitution with language. And notice how they do this. I was looking at it. This is a channel from Charlotte, WBTV channel 3. And you look up in the top right, it shows Charlotte. And notice it says, it's funny, it says millions of North Carolina voters have opted to amend the state constitution with language reportedly meant to clarify who can vote in elections. A constitutional amendment proposed by the North Carolina House Republicans this year is passed in the 2024 election, as reported by the Associated Press. The amendment says that only U.S. citizens who are at least 18 years of age and meet the other qualifications shall be entitled to vote at any election. So, and it passed. Here we go. As of 1:47 a.m. on Wednesday, November the 6th, 77.5% of voters, more than 4 million North Carolina voters, voted in favor of amending the Constitution. At that time, 98.4% of precincts were reporting election results. So you can see 3/4 of North Carolina voters voted to amend the Constitution so that only North Carolina citizens, citizens who meet these requirements are allowed to vote in any election in the state of North Carolina. So we see that it looks like Alamance County voted that same way, 75% for it. Look, it's interesting. A lot of people voted out for that. But one more thing in closing, the city of Burlington. If you live in the city of Burlington, you better get ready for your taxes to increase. Notice here, the city of Burlington, they had 2 amendments on the ballot. The city of Burlington Parks and Recreation bond referendum, it passed by a little more than 50%. The city of Burlington street and sidewalk bond referendum likewise passed. I'm just shocked that, maybe that's the few votes they had, but you can see it's interesting that it passed 57%. People want their street and sidewalk bond referendum. They want their parks and recreation bond referendum. So if you live in Burlington, you better get ready for your taxes to go up as they had said they would. So, with that being said, that brings me to the close of this. And if this has been helpful, let me encourage you to hit the like, hit the subscribe button. This is Alamance County Talks Politics. This is Keith. My name is Keith. And until next time, take care.